Hi boys and girls, my name is Colleen Driscoll. I'm a children's author from Harrison County in West Virginia. I'm coming to you today to read stories for the Brooke County Public Libraries, and the story we're reading today is called Piper the Elf's Big Surprise. Piper is Santa's best littlest helper in the North Pole. She's about your age. She's a little smaller, younger, and she plays with all the elves in the North Pole. When Piper heard that I was coming today to read this story, she asked me to show you inside her Piper's toll bag. Now this is the toll bag that she uses to help Santa Claus. And it's the toll bag she used when she helped Santa in this book, Piper the Elf's Big Surprise. Are you interested in finding out what is in Piper's toll bag? We only have about maybe half an hour today to read the book and to find out what's in the bag, because then Piper is coming tonight when we're sleeping and she has to take back her toll bag because they need to keep making toys in Santa's workshop. So let's take a look. I'm curious too what's in this toll bag, but she was excited to show it to her friends from the library. The first thing that's in her toll bag are, does anybody know what these are? If you guess safety glasses, you are correct. Safety glasses are used by people who work in dangerous jobs so they don't get any dust in their eyes, because we have to do safety first when you do any type of construction or any repair that you would be doing. So always remember your safety glasses. Another thing that Piper has is just a picture, and it shows a type of putty. Now some of you may know what putty is for, but she has another type of putty. It might come like in a little container, and this one's a little hard, but they would put putty over a hole to protect it so that it doesn't have the hole showing anymore. And you would use a putty knife, and you would take the putty and you would smooth it over the hole to fix something. So maybe they're fixing your toys at Christmas time, or maybe one of the elves dropped a toy and it broke and they have to fix it, and maybe it has a dent in it, but they would need to be able to use the putty to fix that. Let me see what else we have. Ooh, this is a piece of brown rough paper. Let's listen. I hope you can hear that. That is called sandpaper. How many of you have used sandpaper? I hope you have, at least being a good helper around the house. Your parents might have had wood that needed sanded to make something smooth. And I always tell kids, whenever we talk about sandpaper, is to pretend you're using sandpaper on your hand. Do you feel how that can make it nice and soft? And your hands get a little warm too, don't they? Yes, they do. And Piper also has a different type of sandpaper. This sandpaper is put onto a sander. And you might ask, what is the difference between sandpaper and a sander? Well, on a sander, the sandpaper goes underneath, and it's a machine, so it makes the sandpaper go really fast. So if we practice on our hands and we're going real slow like sandpaper, that's a little bit warm on our hands. And now you make it go super, super fast, and it gets really hot. And that's what happens. It works really fast and makes something very smooth so that we can go ahead and paint what we're doing afterwards. And I wonder what we're going to be painting in this book, Piper the Elf's Big Surprise. We're going to have to wait on that. Here's another picture that we have, and I wonder who knows what this man is doing with this spark. I don't know, but I think in the book there might be a little helper that does it. The little penguin. The little penguin knows that this is a welder. A welder is like melding two pieces of metal together, and it's gluing it together so that way they stick together. So, and the little penguin in the book is the little welder that we have. But again, that is not for little kids, and Piper does not weld because she's just a little elf, and little elves can't do that yet. Okay, the next thing we have is Piper's favorite tool, and this is what is it? A paintbrush. Very good. Why do we have to paint? Why do you think we use paint, like this red can of paint? If you said to give things a brighter color and to make it look nicer, you are correct. Things look nicer when they're nice and have colors to them. You might have painted walls in your house. You might have a colored car that has a different color to it. You might have nice, beautiful clothes, but those really aren't painted. But the car is painted and the walls get painted. Your furniture might be painted. It just makes it look nicer. And let me see what else. I think that's it. We just have another part of sandpaper. Piper and the elves must be doing a lot of sandpaper. So that is what's inside of Piper's tool bag. I hope you like that, and I hope you get an idea of how hard those elves work at the North Pole. They're trying to make the toys ready in time for Christmas so everybody can have lots of fun. So if you have your ears ready, we'll go ahead and read our little story, Piper the Elf's Big Surprise. Now in the stories that I wrote, the illustrator, who is Brian Dumb, has put a little penguin on every page. So when you see the little penguin doing something silly, you can put up your thumb and let us know that you see the penguin. But don't forget to put your thumb back down or your hand's going to get sore from sticking it up all the time. But hopefully you'll see the little penguin on every page, and I'll try to have the pages big enough that you can see. Okay, and this is the little penguin, so we'll set him down and we'll read the story, Piper the Elf's Big Surprise. Piper the Elf was excited about Christmas. Each day, Piper and the elves had fun making toys for Santa. One blustery afternoon, Santa looked troubled as he walked into the toy shop. I inspected my sleigh today and saw many holes rusted through the sides and bottom, he said. I'm afraid the toys will fall out as I fly through the sky on Christmas Eve. Can anyone help me in the evenings to patch the holes and repair my sleigh? The elves looked at each other and lowered their heads. No one volunteered to help. Piper's father said, Santa, we work hard all day making toys. We are too tired to help you in the evening. Santa was disappointed, but he didn't want to overwork the elves. They needed to work during the day to finish the toys in time for Christmas. Did we see the elf or the little penguin? There's the little penguin talking. Piper bit her lip and thought. She had chores in the evening, but she didn't want to upset Santa. She raised her hand. I will help you, she said. The elves stared with open mouths. Thank you, Piper, Santa said. We will repair the sleigh in the warehouse. Well, that was really nice that Piper volunteered. Let's look at that sleigh. Look at the holes rusted in that sleigh. What will happen if they don't fix it? That night they began the repairs. The rickety sleigh was dented and had many holes. Santa used the sander and showed Piper how to remove the rust around the holes with the sandpaper. "Can we paint the sleigh now?" Piper asked. Santa laughed. "No, Piper, the sleigh is not ready to be painted yet." He looked worried as they sanded the holes. "I have many gifts to deliver this year. I hope the sleigh can hold all the toys," he said. Piper looked at the small, worn-out sleigh. She shook her head and said, "You need a bigger sleigh." She watched Santa wipe a tear from his eye. They worked until Piper's bedtime. Did we see the little penguin down there with the welding? He has the little welding helmet on. Each evening after dinner, Santa and Piper met at the warehouse to repair the sleigh. Some nights Mrs. Claus surprised them and brought drinks and snacks. Those look like good cookies, huh? It took an entire week to patch the holes. Then Santa showed Piper how to add putty over the patched areas and smooth them with sandpaper. "My sleigh is wobbly when I fly in the sky," Santa said. "Sometimes the ride is bumpy and presents bounce out of the sleigh." Piper stopped sanding and yawned. "Longer runners will help you glide through the air," she said. "Are we ready to paint the sleigh yet?" Santa chuckled. "You need patience, Piper. Soon we can paint." I wonder when they're going to start painting. Piper continued making toys with her friends during the day in the toy shop before she helped Santa in the evening. One morning she fell asleep as she painted wooden blocks. The little elves were worried about her. "Piper, wake up," Holly said, nudging her. "You work too hard," Jack said. "How long are you going to help Santa?" Miles asked. "Until the sleigh is finished," Piper said. She looks very, very tired. After the patches were sanded smooth, Santa and Piper sprayed primer over the patched holes to protect the repairs from rusting again. Piper was excited until she saw the patches were now a different color, gray. "The sleigh still looks faded," Piper said. "This sleigh is worn out, but it is the only one I have. Let's paint the sleigh with our special candy cane dye," Santa said. "A glossy red color might make the sleigh look better." Three days before Christmas, Santa and Piper painted the sleigh a bright shade of red. "This small sleigh may be old, but it sure is shiny," Piper said. Santa stopped painting and looked at the sleigh. "Yes, but it will still be hard to see when I drive on snowy evenings," he said. "You need lights on your sleigh. Maybe your next sleigh will have lights," Piper said cheerfully. Santa sighed. "No, Piper, we can't build another sleigh. During the day, the elves make toys. By nighttime, they are too tired. I am thankful you volunteered to help me." He watched Piper yawn. "This is the last night to work on the sleigh," Santa said. "The paint needs to dry." but the sleigh will be ready to use on Christmas Eve. You should go home and get some rest. Tomorrow night is the Christmas celebration." Piper laughed. "I'm so tired that I forgot about your party. Good night, Santa," she said. Did we see the little penguin sleeping? Oh. But Piper didn't go to bed when she left the warehouse. Tonight, just like each night during the past month, she walked to her father's garage where her parents and the other elves waited for her. They jumped up and down when they saw her. Piper's father asked, "Do you have any news for us tonight?" Piper told the elves what she had learned. The light stayed on the garage a long time. The next day, the elves wrapped gifts. Tomorrow, they would load the sleigh, but tonight they hurried to Santa's house for the big Christmas party. Santa always gave the elves a gift to thank them for their work. Afterwards, Piper's father stood up among the group and said, "Santa, we have a gift for you." Santa's eyes grew wide. The elves usually didn't have time to make Santa a gift. They led him outside and showed him the surprise. Santa froze. Then he raised his eyebrows and asked, "What is this?" The elves laughed. Piper said, "Santa, it is your new sleigh." He stumbled backwards. In front of him was a large, sparkling red sleigh with long runners and lights along the top. "When did you build this?" he asked. "How did you know to design it this way?" Piper's father said, "Santa, you need a new sleigh. Your old sleigh is too small and unsafe for long trips. We couldn't help repair your old sleigh because we were busy building you a new one. Piper has been very helpful. She worked with you in the evening and then helped us at night. She gave us ideas for your new sleigh." That was really nice to do that. Santa looked at Piper. No wonder she was always tired. She had been working triple duty. She worked in the toy shop during the day, with Santa in the evening, and with the elves late at night. Santa exclaimed in his jolly voice, "Ho, ho, ho." Can you guys say that? Ho, ho, ho. What a big surprise! This is the perfect sleigh. He looked at Piper and said, "Because you surprised me with your hard work, I have a surprise for you. Will you join me on my new sleigh when I deliver my toys tomorrow night?" Ooh, that's a big surprise. Now it was Piper's turn to be surprised. The elves clapped wildly. Being Santa's helper on Christmas Eve was the best present anyone could ever want. Piper sprinted home down the lane, leaving the party early. The elves still cheered for her as she ran inside her house. If Piper was staying up late tomorrow night, she needed to go to bed early tonight. She wanted to be well rested for her midnight adventure with Santa Claus. And that is the end. Well, boys and girls, I hope you loved that story. And it just goes to show you, when you do something nice for somebody, like Piper helped Santa Claus, even though it was hard on her, and she sacrificed to help him and make him happy and to help get that sleigh ready for boys and girls, sometimes when you help somebody, you can get rewarded too. No, we don't always help everybody because we think we're going to get rewarded, but that's a nice little bonus. And in this book, Piper couldn't wait to help give Santa a new sleigh. Just like all of the helpers, all the elves that work so hard for Santa to have a new sleigh so he can use that sleigh to deliver toys to boys and girls, toys that aren't going to fall out through the holes. And she gets rewarded at the end by having a special surprise too. She is allowed to carry or continue on that trip with Santa and go on that midnight ride. Can you imagine how great that would be? If you like to write stories, I'm going to give you a special assignment, and you can put this in your Christmas list with Santa. I would like you to pretend that you are Piper the elf, and you are on Santa's sleigh, on that big new sleigh. What do you see when you were on that ride and you're going through the air? What are you hearing? Do you hear the reindeer? Do you hear bells? What are you smelling? What would that midnight ride be like? Are you smelling pine trees? Are you smelling cinnamon cookies? Are you smelling chocolate chip cookies that are out? Are you smelling smoke from the smokestack? I don't know, but this is your story, so that would be a great thing to put in that story. And you can talk about what you feel. Is it cold? Are you shivering? Do you feel snowflakes on your skin, and do they make you cold? That's a nice little writing activity. And if you write a story, feel free to send it with Piper and Santa Claus in your letter. Or you can send it to me on my website, and I'd be happy to put that on my website and in our Facebook page. Piper has a Facebook page called Piper the Elf. And all you have to do is Google Piper the Elf. And you can type pipertheelf.com on the website, and that'll lead you to my website, and you can see all of the Piper the Elf books that she has. And Piper has a little activity book as well. So I hope you get to search through my website and see all of the Piper stories. I hope you enjoyed this story about Piper the Elf. And all of the ideas for Piper the Elf came to me because I was sick on Christmas. Because I started thinking, what are the elves doing? So by you writing a letter to Santa and telling him what you would imagine his midnight ride could be, that's the start of becoming a writer. And you can be an author just like me. In the meantime, enjoy all Piper the Elf's books. And I hope you have a great visit at the Brooke County Library Visits this week, whenever you're looking at the story and just celebrating in preparation for Christmas. So goodbye for now, and I hope you have a very Merry Christmas.